Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome back to Kari Moody. This is just another quick video in hopes of clearing another statement up. From early on, I've heard and seen it be said that Chris, when he told Seth that Sebastian was missing, said something to the effect of, "Don't be mad or don't be angry, but Sebastian is missing." I'm sure if you follow the case, you've also heard this. So what I want to point out is that Seth spoke on this at least 5 separate times. It wasn't until the second time that he actually brought that part up that Seth added this minor detail. The other 4 times, Seth does not mention this at all. This is only my opinion, but I think Seth threw this in that second time simply to make Chris look bad, and it did. That one statement is still being brought up months later. If that was really said, then why didn't Seth say it the first time or any time after that? It may seem like a very minor detail to many of you, but to me, it's not so minor, as it does seem to imply something about Chris, and the public and other creators certainly ran with it because it worked. Those few added words did make Chris sound bad. That did to me as well. But I ask you to ask yourself, am I going to believe something that was only said 1 out of 5 times? I don't. So that makes me have to wonder, why did Seth want to attempt to paint Chris in a certain way so early on? Listen to Seth's own words and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And let me again remind you all, TBI says that all parents are cooperating and there's no proof of any criminal element involved in his disappearance. But also, there is not any proof that there is not a criminal element involved. Agents and investigators are reviewing any possibility at all that may indicate where Sebastian Rogers is.
When I got off of work, I had a text message from the stepfather, Chris, and a missed phone call, and I called him, and he told me that Sebastian was missing, and he didn't know what had happened.
So, Seth, what time did you get to the home that day?
I got the message at about 7:20. I was there at about 8 o'clock.
So, immediately. When you got to the home, tell me about the state of the home.
The home was clean. I mean, it looked like it normally did when I walked in.
So, were there any... Okay, I'm trying to understand. That morning, your wife calls you, your ex calls you about 7:20 a.m. Would that have been on a school day?
No, it was her husband that called me.
Okay. Was that at 7:20 a.m.?
No, 7:20 a.m. is when I got to my vehicle because I got off of work at 7. My shift ended at 7. By the time I found out to make sure that I didn't have to stay over or anything, then I got to my truck about 7:20, and they had texted me and tried to call me on my cell phone at around 6:20.
And you found out about it at 7:20, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I mean,
okay.
I got a phone call and a text message that I received after I got off of work stating that I needed to give the stepfather a call. I called him and he was like, "Sebastian's missing. Don't be upset or anything, but you need to come to the house." I couldn't. I don't know what happened to him.
Now, I do want to ask you this. Can you describe the events leading up to your son's disappearance and how you first realized he was missing? Did you get a phone call? When did it happen? When did the shock come to you? When, I'm just curious about that and when how you first heard it.
I don't know when the shock came, to be honest. There's not a defining point. I got off of work at 7 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Left, went to my truck. To me, it was just a normal day. So I'm talking to my coworkers. And I'm like, Monday morning, we're off for the next 2 days. So it was like, it was just normal conversation with people. Normal day. Go home, get some sleep, try to rest up, see everybody on Wednesday. And I went and got in my truck. And I grabbed my phone. And I see I have a missed phone call and a text message. No voicemail. So I turned around and text message 911. So I call. And that's what I find out from Chris.
So you,
I want to go back to when you first found out, and this part isn't clear in my head. Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing, and who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately, and he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
And how much detail did he give you about what happened, and how would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown correction center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible.
It was very upsetting to all of us that instead of calling 911, she called Chris, who was supposedly 3.5 hours away and some change. Minutes count when you're looking for anything, but most importantly, a child. And she doesn't even leave the house. Why was she not knocking on doors? Why didn't she call you? You would have been out there in a heartbeat to find him.
They did call my phone. Chris called my phone and sent me a text message. Both of them knew I was at work. Why didn't they call Davidson County and ask to speak to my captain?
Mm-hmm.
My captain, they would have literally pulled me out of work immediately, and I'd have been there.
Sebastian Rogers went missing from his Sumner County, Tennessee home on February 26, 2024. He is 15 years old, approximately 5 foot 5 inches tall, and 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He may be wearing glasses. If you have any credible tips or information, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Thank you so much for watching, and please help me out by tapping that like and subscribe button. You guys have a great weekend.